Grand Rising and happy Sunday to all of you. Happy first Sunday of 2026. I hope all of you are doing amazing and you've had an amazing day. However, let's get into this scripture for Sunday. So, as we all know, I am reading about the life of David. And last we left off, David had been rebuked by Nathan from God because of him deciding to steal Uriah's wife. So I just want to go back a little bit. In the last video that I posted, I mentioned that basically Uriah kind of was like, oh yeah, cool, bet. The king want me, that's tea. However, after marinating on it, reading over my notes, I now realize that Bathsheba high key was violated. She was bathing in the river to cleanse herself after her monthly. She didn't really have a choice as to whether or not she was gonna, with the king. He basically saw her, said he wanted her, and he took her. So high key, the David SA'd her. That's the tea on that. But let me get back to where I was. So I left off on Samuel 2 Samuel 12. Now we are going to start at 2 Samuel 13, Ammon and Tamar. So Ammon is one of David's sons, right? Tamar is David's daughter, but they have different moms. That's the assumption. Basically, Ammon was lusting after Tamar. Disgusting. Tamar was like, hey, this is a sin. This is not okay. This is not something that we should be doing. This is not something that we should be participating in or partaking in. You're tripping. So basically, one of Ammon's advisors told him, pretend to be sick. Tell David that you would like your sister Tamar to tend to you, and then pounce. So that's exactly what Ammon did. Ammon, basically, the king, David, came to check on Ammon. Ammon was like, oh my God, I feel so sick. Could you send my sister Tamar to cook for me and feed me? And of course, David, thinking nothing of it, he was like, okay, yeah, I'll send your sister, no problem. Well, when Tamar goes, she cooks the bread for him. She's about to feed him. He's basically like, I've been wanting you and I can't help myself. And she was like, whoa. We've already had this conversation. You cannot do that. You're basically going to defile me as a woman. What am I to do? People are going to know about this. This is going to be horrible. And also, this is a egregious sin that you're trying to do. I can't, absolutely not. So basically, Ammon grapes her. And, Tamar runs off. She's in the dumps. She's depressed. She can't take it. Well, Tamar has a brother, Absalom. Technically, Absalom and Ammon are brothers. So Absalom catches wind of what happened, and Absalom is like, "Oh wow, I know you're lying." So Absalom pretends to forgive Ammon, and literally 2 years after the fact, Absalom is like, you know what? All of the king's sons, let's all go on this, I'm going to say hunting trip. That's not what it was, but I'm going to just say it's a hunting trip. Absalom was like, let's all go on this hunting trip. Well, when all of the brothers met up outside of Ammon, Absalom was like, look, when we get to the campgrounds, this is what I'm about to do to Ammon, and I dare one of y'all to stop me. The brother's like, whoa. Not my tea. No tea, no shade. I ain't got nothing to do with that. They make it to the campgrounds. Absalom is basically chit-chatting with Ammon, and then as soon as he gets close enough to Ammon, he goes in and he unalives Ammon, which I'm not mad at, because how dare you do that to my sister, your sister, our sister? You're disgusting. So after Absalom unalives Ammon, he goes on the run. Because basically what the word that got back to David was, all of your sons have been unalived at this campground. And it took Joab telling David, no, it wasn't all of them. Absalom unalived Ammon. And so now David is pissed. David understands, he gets why Absalom did it, but he's like, at the end of the day, that is my son too, and my son was just unalive. So, he's mad. Absalom goes on the run. He's running through Jerusalem. He's hiding. He's ducking. He's dodging. But in the midst of him being on the run, he decides that he's going to come up with a scheme. Joab was unaware of this scheme. So what Joab does, Joab basically sends a woman to tell David, basically to give David a hypothetical that deals with the situation. And the woman goes, hey, if, this happened, what would you do? David was like, I'd forgive. Make sure don't nobody touch you. Like, I got you. Don't worry about it. The lady goes, well, why hasn't Absalom been offered, why haven't Absalom been welcomed back open arms into the kingdom? Like, it's the same situation. David goes, you know what? All right, cool. I know Joab sent you to do this, but you're right. I'm going to forgive Absalom. Absalom's welcome back with open arms. However, let's keep in mind that whenever Nathan rebuked David, Nathan told him there's two very specific things that were going to happen to him because of his actions. One, the first son that he and Bathsheba gave birth to would not live. Two, all of his wives will be given to someone very close to him for all of Israel to see. Those are the two things. Keep that in mind. Absalom comes back to the kingdom. He starts conspiring against David. Basically, what Absalom does is at the edge of the town, when people come to the king to express their grievances, Absalom basically hey, let me stop you here. Let me know your grievances. Oh, your feelings are valid, but there's no one to represent you for the king. So I'll do what I can and I'll help you as much as I can. He did this for a while. He's turning people around, basically saying, David, don't care about what you got going on. Ain't nobody here for you. And then he would go in and basically resolve their issues. Well, because he had did this for so long, it came a point to where he actually overthrew David from the throne. So David, he flees. He's like, oh my gosh, he flees. In the midst of him fleeing, Absalom basically takes all of his concubines and he, and then he also starts to basically divide Israel and say, hey, I'm over this. He basically was the king for that little time period. Israel decided to anoint Absalom as the king because they felt like David ain't doing what he's supposed to do. He been turning us away. This ain't gonna work. So in the midst of David fleeing, there's a variety of things that are happening. He done been cursed out. He got the people internally turning against him. He done planted people in to listen to him. And so that's basically that drama. But what I took from this particular scripture, first of all, no, for every action, there's a reaction, including consequence. So although David is thinking oh, you know what? It's fine. God has forgiven me. Even though God did forgive him, he did not go unpunished. And all of the punishments that God sent Nathan to tell David that was going to happen to him, they came to pass. Also, too, yes. Okay, so this may just be a dry perspective though. But yes, it is okay to forgive, but you cannot. Sometimes people have to experience the consequence of their action. And I'm saying that because of what Ammon did to Tamar. David should have nipped that in the bud. Ammon should have been punished for what he did to Tamar. If he had punished Ammon for what he did to Tamar, Absalom probably wouldn't have felt the need to go after Ammon and unalive him in the way that he did. But David just letting the sons do whatever they want to do, not honoring his daughter as well, led to the demise of two of his sons, because not only did Absalom go on the run, Absalom overthrew him from the throne, and then Absalom also unalived Ammon. So I guess my biggest takeaway, because it's a lot of moving pieces in this particular part where I'm at. I think the biggest takeaway is it is okay to reprimand and correct people based off of the way that they treat you. It does not serve you to not give consequence to bad behavior. It does not serve you. It does not serve them. It does nothing for either party. So that is today's Scripture Sunday. I will definitely be having a more detailed synopsis for the next run, but I wanted to make sure that I got you guys up to date with where I'm at. If you have any questions, concerns, feel free to comment. Also, make sure you like the video. But yeah, David got a lot of tea going on in his kingdom right now. It's a lot going on. I'm honestly kind of ready to be done with David because Yeah, I'm actually on 2 Samuel 21, so I'm almost done. But I'm gonna give y'all that later.